Hi everyone, Diana here. I'm on the road this week, so I thought I would just sit in the car, and I found this beautiful quiet park to sit in. It's a little windy outside, so I stayed inside with the windows open. You might be able to hear the breeze. Outside you probably would hear only the breeze and not me, so I'm sitting quietly here. I hope you are having a relaxing evening or day wherever you are. And this is your messages and a prediction or two for the week of July 8th to the, what would that be, the 14th? I don't have a calendar in front of me. And I also have to apologize because I neglected to bring Philip's book, the Master's Book of Answers, along with me, but I will send you a message, or I will print the message below. I'm also going to put a link to a video I made a couple of years ago called The Calling, Warriors and Peacemakers. And I want to kind of recap that a little bit and give you the highlights in this message, because it's important to our world today. 2 years ago, important, just as important today. One of you wrote and said, you understand what I'm saying about love, but love did not stop. Love did not stop Nazi bullets. Love doesn't stop any bullets, and I've heard that many times. But I want you to think a little bit differently. And so I'm going to ask you to think about, love may not stop a bullet. Maybe. Perhaps if you're not standing in front of it. But think of all of the people in Nazi Germany who rescued Jews, who hid the Jewish families at the expense of perhaps putting their own life and even that of their families in jeopardy. Did that not stop bullets? I think that's what I would call stopping Nazi bullets. And that's what I would also call love in action. So we've got love in action. And love will always win over fear. That doesn't mean we don't need warriors in this lifetime. Because yes, it did take warriors with bullets to also help stop the Nazis. You know, in this other video I talk about how in this life, before we come in, we choose our path. We choose what we're going to heal in this life, what we're going to take care of, what our lives are going to be, what our calling is going to be, what our great mission is going to be. And as we do that, and we come into this life, we may choose the path of being a warrior. It's not the path I chose. I chose the path of peacemaker. I think peacemakers, as I just explained, do stop bullets. They keep them from flying in the first place. In our world today, do we need peacemakers? Yes. Do we need warriors? Yes. Someday, hopefully, we won't need the warriors, and we won't need the peacemakers. We'll only have the people who are peaceful. Something to think about and look forward to. This coming week is going to be another week in the U.S. of a lot of upheaval, changes, unpleasantness, and so I'm a little worried about in the southern area of the east, some weather coming through. Also Tornado Alley, we've got some storms that'll pop up. By the way, if you're going to buy a house in the U.S., you want to do that if you can this summer or fall, because interest rates are going to go up this year, and they will continue to go up for the next year or so. And there's a good chance stocks are going to go down. So this would be a good time, if you're ready, to buy a house. I don't see war starting this week, thank goodness. I still ask all of us to hold our planet in love and to see the protective light, that divine light around the planet and infused in the planet. If you can see us surrounded by angels, that's cool too. It's important that we continue to do that because we are still close to war. We're also, you've heard me say it before, this summer, we're really going to see rioting in the streets. In the U.S., by the time most of you listen to this, we will have nominated, or will not we are going to nominate it, but we will have in nomination a new Supreme Court justice. Conservative, yes. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court over the last several years has become political. And it's not a body that should be political. It's a body that should be the best that we have to offer in the legal field. And it should be those judges who can actually look at the Constitution and interpret it. They may have different opinions there, but it seems to me a good judge would step back from perhaps a personal opinion and look at the Constitution. Unfortunately, that's not what's happened in our Supreme Court. And so, yeah, there will be a lot of pushback. There will be a lot of anger over this new nominee. However, I do think the nomination will go through, and perhaps the court will go back somewhere to the 1930s. That makes me sad. Because in the U.S. and elsewhere in the world, not just the U.S., and not everywhere in the world by any means, but in the U.S. and in other parts of the world, there is a war on women. Our current president would not be on the side of women. And that's true of a lot of politicians. You've been hearing me say for some time, it will be the women, it'll be the money laundering that gets him in real trouble, but it'll be the women who takes him down. And if you wonder who I'm speaking of, the first name is Donald. That said, I think we're going to see more and more, I think we've already started that process, but we're going to see more and more and more of the unraveling of the president and the presidency and the whole administration over the summer months. And something this week, I don't know what, but something significant this week is going to come out. I'm going to guess midweek, but that's just a guess. It could be later in the week, and there's just like some significant information or incident that's going to take place, that's going to come out. It is going to get uglier, and this week is not going to be our proudest. So, all of that said, that's why it's so important in our personal lives, to stay in that space of peace, in that space of love. And I remind you, love is an action verb. Love is not just letting things that are horrific and wrong take place. Love is hiding your neighbors in times of terrible turmoil, if necessary. That's an action of love. And did bullets stop the Nazis? Yes. For some. Not for all, but for some. Remember, we need both warriors and peacemakers. Be safe this week. Use your intuition. As you heard me say last week, we can move into another dimension, and we can do that safely, and we can do that as we stay in a space of love. So I ask you to stay in love. Add love to the world. Those acts of kindness do matter. They are important. Thank you for being with me this week. Again, I will put Philip's message below, and I will also put the website or the link to the other video on the calling, the warriors and peacemakers. Get out and enjoy the day. Add sunshine, add laughter, add love to your life and to the world. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for your comments. If this is your first time, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, those of you who do, and telling your friends about me. Let's make our world better. We have seen two major changes. The people are being heard, because of environmental groups and others working to bring out the horrendous things that Scott Pruitt was doing. He's resigned. We have to work on education, and Betsy next, perhaps. But the people were heard in that. The other thing is we did get the children at the border crossing. We did get that stopped. There's still a lot of work to do there. A lot of work. We have to get the children back to their parents. Don't give up. But don't get overwhelmed by it. We have to take care of ourselves. Take care. I love you, my friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Until we meet again. This is Diana saying, I love you. And Daisy's not with me. She's at home with our other family. So, until next week, we love you. Thank you for loving us.